So far, it looks like Randy has a decent actual opening hand.
I can't see if he has an untapped land, but it looks like he has the ability to play Warden on 1, right?
Yeah. All right, so he does. He'll crack a Windswept Heath and go down to 19. Get a basic forest out of there and probably drop that Warden on turn 1.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start.
Yeah, we got Stuart Parnes on a mono red Eldrazi build. Kind of interesting build.
Deck is really sweet. I don't know about you, but I played it 2 rounds before the top 8. Deck seems very strong.
Yeah, the ability to actually like steal opponents' creatures and have hasty guys and also be able to attack in the air is really big right now.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to see another fetch land get cracked.
This looks like this is on his first main phase.
Yep, we're going to get a pump out of there for the Warden. Gonna level him up. It'll be a 3/3. Looks like he'll be crashing in for 3. Take a land and a Hangerback Walker on 1.
Hangerback is pretty good against Warden.
Yeah, it gives him the ability to block for a turn and make a flyer.
Yeah. Was that another Warden he just drew?
I do believe that actually has a second Warden in hand.
Looks like there's some confusion on whether or not that dice is a 1/1 counter or a level up.
Yeah, it can get kind of confusing with Warden. All the different abilities. Looks like he's going to crash in there for 3 again. See if we get a block out of there. So it looks like Stuart will just block with a Hangerback Walker and make a 1/1 Thopter. Save his life total a little bit.
Carroll playing a Sylvan Advocate on 2. On 3, I'm sorry.
Looks like a Thopter Engineer, which is pretty good. Gives all his colorless creatures haste. Crash in with some Thopters.
Yeah. I didn't play against this Abzan aggro list. I have no idea how well it does against flyers like those Thopters or the Thopters made by Thopter Engineer or P and Kieran.
Yeah, I don't know how well P and Kieran actually stands up in this match. A lot of the creatures that are in the Abzan aggro build have more than 2 toughness, so it makes it really hard for actual value to come out of P and Kieran besides 2 Thopters that come in with it.
Yeah. And P and Kieran has a 4-mana 2/2 that makes 2 1/1s. Just by itself is not that great.
Yeah, not specifically in this matchup. Looks like we'll just get a block there and bounce off of each other. See if we'll get a level up here on the Warden. Alright, so he doesn't, so we'll just take the 3 damage there from the Warden.
Going to 14.
Yeah, it'll take him down to 14.
And there he is.
There's Mr. Siegeman Rhinoceros. Alright, we'll have Randy Carroll going to 19 and Stuart going to 11 after the Siege Rhino for turn.
Siege Rhino even now managing to be the biggest creature on the battlefield.
Only for a couple more weeks.
Thank God.
A couple more weeks and it will no longer be with us. May he rest in peace. Well.
There's the aforementioned P and
Speaking of the devil, there's a P and Kieran right there. The Thopters will get haste, so it'll allow him to crash in for a couple more. And so he'll crash in there for 4.
Putting Carroll to 15. Looks like he drew a Shambling Vent for turn.
Alright, give him another tap land. See how. See if we get some attacks out of Randy here.
I don't really see a reason why he wouldn't send the Rhino in. Tapped out. I mean, he at least gets 4 in, if not, takes out a creature.
Yeah, I don't see the damage in actually sending both. It looks like here he can actually... I think I did see a Dramoka's command in hand, so he can actually get some value out of attacking with somebody and being able to actually get through for a lot of damage here.
Looks like he's going for all 3.
Seems up.
There's the Dramoka's command. Yep. Takes out the P.N. Kieran and the Thopter Engineer.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good play.
Yeah.
Make his Sylvan Advocate baby Termagoyf to a 3/4.
Yeah.
For the turn. Looks like we'll have
the old Sylvan Advocate.
7 damage come through.
Put Parnes to 4.
Seems like a pretty good life total to be at.
No, yeah. Yeah, it's
Now, I don't know what Stuart has in his deck to actually get him out of a situation like this. The board's pretty hefty with guys.
It seems pretty locked up.
Looks like we're going to see a Thought Knot Seer. That'll save a block and any trample damage from the Siege Rhino. Let's see.
So as of right now, he's not dead on board.
Not yet. See what else Carroll has in his hand before he reveals. This is a nice thing about playing a Abzan aggro. It allows you to actually respond to Thought Knot Seer. Trigger on the stack. You can actually kill it and potentially save some of your cards.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he took with that Thought Knot Seer.
No, cannot see it.
It looks like he drew another Rhino.
There's a 6 land for turn, so now Sylvan Advocate is a nice 5/6.
That's a healthy Sylvan Advocate.
It's a very healthy Sylvan Advocate.
He drank his milk when he was a boy.
That is true, Bob. That is true.
Fetching a Smoldering Marsh.
Yeah, it looks like here Randy only has to get 1 damage through. It did look like he actually drew a Siege Rhino for turn, so 1 damage is enough to end this game very quickly. So we'll see what he does. Or even put him in a situation to where he has to not do anything, levels up a ward, and he can potentially get 1 in through there.
I don't think there's any way for Parnes to gain life in his deck. We don't have the list in front of us, so I'm not sure. But I think hitting him down to within just Siege Rhino killing him range is probably good enough by itself.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's going to send a Shambling Vent through. That'll, I guess, allow him to gain some life.
I like this play. It puts him down. It makes it to where he has to block, takes out some creatures, and he has Dramoka's command open. So he's I don't know if he's bluffing it, but I do know he's bluffing. We know he has the Rhino.
So with the interesting. So regardless of what happens, Siege Rhino is actually going to come through and deal 3 trample damage.
Take Parnes to 1.
Take Parnes to 1. Carroll's going to go to 17 from the Shambling Vent here.
Wouldn't it be 19 from the Sylvan Advocate, making it a 4/5?
Yeah, 18.
Oh yeah, he does actually gain 4 life, so that is true. And Stuart's going to go down to 1 after the trample damage from the Siege Rhino.
I think this is the death knell of Stuart here.
Yeah, holding up Siege Rhino in hand, I guess. It doesn't matter what he plays, so he plays Smasher, which is, a great card.
Not
He doesn't come in, so let's see if he just plays the Rhino, or...
Is that a Rhino or is that Anafenza?
I don't know.
I got a better look at the art. That might have just... It's Anafenza.
It looks like he drew Abzan for turn, so it actually doesn't matter. So he can just crash in with the Siege Rhino right now and actually just exile whatever blocks it and allow the trample damage to go through.
Yeah. So you would have to put all 3 of his creatures on it to not die to the trample damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a place you want to be in. And before combat.
I guess it forces a block from both.
So Stuart dies?
No, he put the Thought Knot Seer, so he's going to draw a card from the Thought Knot Seer. It'll save his life total, but it doesn't save him from another turn.
Right. So he runs a 4/5.
Yeah. I definitely like...
And that's the end of game 1.
Waiting for blocks to actually Abzan Charm there.
Yeah.
makes it so that no matter what he does, you can actually just get lethal that turn.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, so we're going to go to game 2 here. We're going to do some sideboarding. They're going to look at some deck lists and see what we got.
Carroll had he had 3 Ruinous Paths in the sideboard. You think those are coming in?
I don't know so much about Ruinous Path, only because it is kind of slow, and it looks like if Parnes gets a decent draw, it looks like his deck can kind of come out pretty fast, and having a sorcery speed removal I don't think is necessarily where Carroll wants to be at in this type of match.
I completely agree. I'm not sure how much I like those Ruinous Paths on the sideboard. They seem kind of slow for an aggressive deck like Carroll's.
Yeah, I can see better spots.
Like even something like Immolating Glare, I'd like more.
Yeah, it allows more control over the board state coming into like game 2 and game 3.
Yeah. See Parnes boarding out a Chandra.
Looks like we got 2 Stasis Snare possibly coming out.
Ultimate Price. I like taking the Ultimate Price out.
Yeah, I mean against some mono color or a colorless mono red Eldrazi deck, Ultimate Price seems absolutely terrible.
I mean, you can hit like P.A. Kieran or Thopter Engineer. That's not very good, and you can't hit Reality Smasher with it.
Yeah, it seems like it's just something that gets stuck in your hand until you get the one good chance that it's actually viable to play.
Yeah.
Looks like we got 2 Stasis Snares and a Valor Stance coming in for Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both options. It's instant speed removal for basically anything. Especially Reality Smasher, yeah, you have to discard a card, but it's definitely...
I believe Parnes is playing Vile Aggregate as well in his deck.
I think I did see a Vile Aggregate in the deck list.
Valor Stance does wonders against Vile Aggregate.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It's good for, holding up against Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah. I really like bringing the Stasis Snares too, because against Reality Smasher it's really good. It's removal that doesn't make you 2 for 1 yourself.
Yeah, I agree. It saves you 5 damage, because Reality Smasher is a powerhouse by himself.
Yeah. When I saw him going through his deck, I saw him pause at the Isle. Do you think he would think about taking that out?
I could say I'm not positive, because Eiley herself can actually, she can stop, or Thought-Knot Seer, she can stop Reality Smasher herself. Just having Death Touch allows her to actually just block even the bigger creatures that Parnes can actually throw at the deck.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'd be good to take it out, or, keep it in there just for the value, and the ability to gain life off of it also is pretty good.
Yeah. And I mean, if he ends up above 30, he can use or start exiling creatures.
Yeah, which could be extremely strong, especially with the amount of creatures that Parnes could potentially pull out with the Thopters, and also with just all of his creatures actually just put more creatures into play, which could put him wide enough to actually get around Carroll's bigger threats.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Carroll is actually boarding in those Ruinous Paths.
I'm not sure I like that.
I'm not sure I do either. I like the Stasis Snare, the Valor Stance. They're a lot more aggressive. I don't think Carroll actually wants to be tapping out to play Ruinous Paths and stuff like that when Parnes is so aggressive.
Yeah.
But we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if the game goes long, he can always Ruinous Path and awaken it and put some counters on some Shambling Vents, and
yeah, that's pretty good.
Make them bigger Shambling Vents.
Lumbering Vents, if you will. Depending on what he took out, the Ruinous Path might not actually be that bad. If you took out like the Ultimate Price, I think I would like Ruinous Path in this matchup more than Ultimate Price.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in this match, Ruinous Path is way better than Ultimate Price.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruinous Path definitely has targets where Ultimate Price has none.
I also saw Parnes boarding out a Chandra. I don't know if he's keeping... I know the Mono Red Eldrazi deck I played in the tournament, they played 4 Chandras. I don't know if he's boarding out all of them or if he's just boarding out the one, but Ruinous Path does kill Chandra.
That is true. I don't even know if boarding out Chandra is correct.
I don't either.
Chandra is a absolute powerhouse.
She's a monster.
So, I mean, it deals with a lot of the creatures that, you know, Carroll can actually put out. And being able just to attack for 6 is great.
Yeah. And if you're running low on cards, she does 0 to draw you cards.
Right, and it looks like because Parnes doesn't look like he has a lot of card draw in his deck, so it could be completely relevant to be able to just reload your hand.
Yeah.
After drawing 3 or 4 lands.
Turn those 3 or 4 lands into a playset of Reality Smashers.
That is true.
Strictly better.
All right, looks like we're on to game 2 here. So both are keeping on 7.
Parnes leading out on a Battlefield Forge.
All right, there's a Hedron Crawler on turn 2 for Parnes. Interesting little 0/1.
It'll be really interesting to see if he has the Thought-Knot Seer on turn 3 to follow it up.
Yeah, which, I mean, it could be really, really, really good against Carroll, especially if he actually has something good in hand that could get rid of it.
I feel like turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer against an aggressive deck like this is pretty good.
Oh, I'd have to agree with you.
Creates a big blocker, takes a card out of the hand.
So we'll get it.
There's the Eiley.
Eiley coming out on turn 2. Seems pretty good.
There's Vile Aggregate. So those Valor stances, if he has one in his hand, is going to be doing some work.
That is true.
Yeah, Parnes has to take a pain to cast that Vile Aggregate.
Oh yeah, we'll put Parnes down to 19 from the Battlefield Forge.
I like playing the Forest here because then you can play Anafenza, and it turns that Valor stance into a much better removal spell.
Yeah, it starts exiling everything, keeps any recursion from happening.
Starts turning Eiley into a bigger threat than she already is.
That is true. Eiley's a pretty. Actually, it doesn't even seem out of it in this match.
No,
it actually seems fine.
Seems great. Your 2-drop trading with their 5-drop is pretty great.
It is really good. Pretty sure Parnes also had a couple roasts in his sideboard also.
I think I saw some.
Sure we'll see roasts here and there coming out to battle the Anafenzas and the Siege Rhinos. Looks like we'll have 2 damage come through from Eiley. No blocks from there. Ooh,
another Vile Aggregate.
Second Vile Aggregate over here. Seems really strong.
Another red source into P and Kieran would be kind of scary.
That could definitely do some work.
I see he has a Ruinous Path in his hand. Parnes taking a damage from his Battlefield Forge to cast that second Vile Aggregate.
Looks like we got a double block here on the Anafenza.
Interesting.
Abzan Charm on one of the Vile Aggregates.
Abzan Charming a Vile Aggregate. It's pretty strong.
Really good. That'll keep the Anafenza alive.
Drops the other Vile Aggregate down to a 2/5. Eiley crashes in for 3. 2, I'm sorry.
Get some damage to go through here. Looks like we might have a Thought-Knot Seer here. There it is. Alright, take a look at the hand here. Looks like he's actually going to take a Ruinous Path. Seems like pretty strong play. It'll keep the Thought Knot Seer on the board for another turn or so.
Are we just wrong about Ruinous Path in this matchup?
I don't know. I'm still not entirely sold on it. I think there's a lot better options that you can actually play in place of the Ruinous Path.
Looks like he drew a Gideon.
It actually seems really good.
That is, yeah. The other Anafenza in his hand's kind of awkward, but...
Yeah, but I guess here in this situation, he can just crash in with Eiley and Anafenza, and he'll either be obligated to block either one, and then if he blocks the Anafenza, you can just lay the other Anafenza down. He still gets an Eiley trigger to where he can add a counter to it, making it even more of a threat.
The Eiley is a 3/4 as of right now, correct?
Yes. It became a 3/4 last trigger from combat.
So it'll become a 4/5?
Yeah, it would become a 4/5, which
That's, yeah.
looks like that's the route he's going down. So we're going to have...
Looks like he's going to be trading that Thought Knot Seer for the Anafenza.
We'll draw a card here from Randy. Looks like he'll be taking 4 from the Ailey. That Thought Knot Seer will go into exile. Let's see what we get coming in this turn. So we got Anafenza coming in and Sylvan Advocate, and it looks like he has the 6 land in hand to make baby Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, he's back.
And with the Shambling Vent on the board,
I don't see a way that Parnes comes out of this.
No, I mean, even with a Chandra, I could see him being able to restabilize, but that would involve Chandra coming in, going up, and then
going down,
minusing to clear the board out. But
right,
even then, it may be too late.
Carroll appears to have a Gideon and a mystery card in his hand. Did you catch a glimpse of what the other one was?
I didn't see what else he had in his hand.
Looks like a Wooded Foothills.
Wooded Foothills.
How do you feel about just animating the Shambling Vent and sending in for that?
I would agree with it. It becomes a 4/5. It puts more of a cushion between him and Stuart. So, I mean, a 4/5 lifelinker's really good. It's not going to get through the aggregate, but you know, I could see Anafenza potentially putting a counter on Shambling Vent here. Yep.
That's exactly what happens.
Make him a 5/6 to be able to actually come through and actually beat through that aggregate that's on there also.
Right. Do we know if he still has Dromoka's commands in his deck?
I could potentially see Dromoka's command still being in the deck. It does stop Roast.
And like right now, he has green white open. Dromoka's command would be a blowout right now. Even if he tries to keep a creature back to, you know, keep somewhat of a board, that's not happening.
Yeah, it could potentially be very, very, very bad.
Double block on the Anafenza.
Okay, damage. 4, 8. Nope. 1. Yep. And then I'll gain
Parnes at 1.
5 also. Yep.
Parnes goes to 1.
Looks like another Siege Rhino, another draw of Siege Rhino would end this game.
Which, you know how the Siege Man works.
He's always there.
Always comes in packs. Haven't seen one yet this game, so
I believe the term is a crash.
I could see it. Looks like we got a Thopter Engineer coming in, making some more blockers here.
Does he get the Rhino? Looks like a Shambling Vent.
So you drew a Shambling Vent for turn. Has a Gideon also in hand still.
Shambling Vent?
So we're going to see an activation here of the Shambling Vent.
Swing with 2.
Come crashing in again for 5. Ailey's going to be coming crashing in and dealing 4.
Carroll's board's pretty dominating right now.
Yeah, it may not seem like he has a lot there, but they're just powerhouses.
Yeah. The more I see this Eiley, the more I really like it.
Yeah, getting the counters on there from Anafenza early on actually really helped out a lot.
It's scaled pretty well into the later turns.
So we're going to gain some life here for Randy. Stuart's still going to...
Drawing another Vile aggregate.
Seems really good. Seems like next turn with Randy being at 29, he could just crash in and then just start exiling creatures at this point. I mean,
yeah.
Even Hangerback Walkers don't seem very well positioned at this point, where you could just gain 1 life and just start exiling his board.
Drew a Warden for the turn.
Warden even seems really strong right now. Yeah, Carroll can't crash through and actually deal lethal this turn. Can definitely go ahead and play that Warden, level him up twice, make it so next turn he just becomes a giant, trampling, lifelinking.
I like playing the Warden here and leveling it up.
Oh, looks like, see if he, doesn't look like he's actually able to activate both of the vents. If he was able to activate both of the vents, the game would be over right here.
Yeah.
But definitely looks like we can declare some attacks and possibly even activate Eiley's ability.
Now, do you think it'd be better to hold back Shambling Vents here, cast the Warden and level him up twice, and then put the counters on him your following turn with Trample?
I'd agree. I could definitely see that play being the best line.
He has the exact mana, 1 green to cast it, 2 to level it up, 4 to level it up, Trample Lifelink. On your following turn, tap 6, and he gets, what, 5 counters?
I believe so.
Yeah, he gets +5/+5 for 6 mana, Trample, and Lifelink.
I'm not sure I like the Shambling Vent play here either. It puts Carroll at 34, but with Carroll already being at 29, his life total really it's out of reach.
If I'm counting correctly, yeah, he has exact mana to level up that, hold the Shambling Fence back and level it up twice.
Yeah, it definitely just locks the game out at that point. There's no way that Parnes can actually come back from here. Looks like he does have another Hangerback Walker, but there's only so many Hangerback Walkers on one that can actually
influence the game.
Right.
And of course, he still is dead to Siege Rhino.
Yeah, looks like we have a roast right here. Let's see what we have going on. Looks like Eiley's actually going to go ahead and exile the aggregate, which is really good. It keeps, everything at bay and
checking to read his own Eiley.
So I think he also gains life per toughness when it exiles.
I have never once actually activated an Eiley for that before. I've only ever sacked a creature to gain life with an Eiley before. That seems pretty strong. Another Hangerback on 1, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
No, he doesn't gain any life from it, but it sacrificed another creature. He just gains life. But it looks like he didn't go through. He didn't sacrifice a creature, so the aggregate will stay. And unfortunately, Miss Eiley has seen her time in this match.
She did well.
Oh yeah, she was actually a powerhouse.
I mean, he does still have a Warden in hand that he's going to start pumping up here very shortly.
He has no shortage of threats. I mean, the Warden, the Gideon, the Shambling Vents, and play with the Sylvan Advocate.
Right.
Yeah.
2 Shambling Vents.
2 Shambling Vents, yeah.
He can activate, I believe.
Yeah, now he can activate both of them, which, I mean,
I still think the Warden plays better. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to deal with an 8/8 trample lifelink.
Can he activate both of them?
I think at this point
I don't see him having double black outside of the vents.
No, he actually doesn't. He only has one outside of the black sorters.
Looks like he's
See what
still going to bring in the vent.
Looks like we're going to crash in here for some more damage. The aggregate's going to sit in front of the Sylvan Advocate. It's like just chump block with a Thopter there. We're going to get 5 more life gained on
39.
Shambling Vent.
I really like attacking first and then playing the Warden. Because now he still has mana to play the Warden and level it up to a 3/3, and then next turn you can go crazy.
I don't believe he can put the counters on the next turn because again he brought the vent in, but I believe he can give it the plus the trample and
The lifelink.
lifelink. Well, he's gonna cast Gideon, that seems good too.
I don't mind this play either. I mean, it does restabilize the board, and with him being at 1, I guess he actually has to put 2 more creatures out to keep the board stalled.
Well, without another land, it looks like he can't give the Warden trample and activate the Shambling Vents.
Well, he can level the Warden up once, which the one level up will make it a 3/3. So as long as he has 6 land, he can give it trample.
Well, he can't give it trample and activate the vents, is what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, he'll actually have to wait a turn in order to. Wow, we're getting an attack with an aggregate. We're getting aggressive here.
I didn't see that.
I did not.
I didn't expect that to happen.
So let's see what we have here. Looks like we have a roast on the Warden.
Wow, that's really good.
That's a great card to have in your hand.
3 blockers and a hangerback to make another blocker, and mana to level up the hangerback.
Yeah.
I mean, still dead to Siege Rhino, but he's stabilizing pretty well.
I mean, he still has 39 life to burn through.
Yeah. Stabilizing isn't the right word, but he's doing something.
Yeah, he can't get away with making a knight this turn if he wants to keep his Gideon with the Thopter and the potential to make another Thopter, but if Parnes is going to block in front of something with that hangerback walker and level him up again, that'll give him 3 Thopters at least to be able to.
I think he's going to try to keep his. No.
Hangerback dies, makes 2 Thopters, which are another 2 blockers. Makes the Vile Aggregate bigger. I guess it's the same because the Thopter dies.
Looks like we only got a gaining 3 life from the Shambling Vet finally with that Sylvan Advocate no longer on the field.
I mean, props to Parnes for staying in here.
Yeah.
At 1, opponent at 42 with a Gideon on board.
Yeah, seems
like an uphill battle.
very, very big hill. Very big hill.
More like a mountain, actually, but
yeah.
He is mono red.
You're not wrong. Speaking of Parnes being at 1, he cannot cast things like P and Kieran because of that Battlefield Forge not being able to make red mana because he's at 1.
Yeah, that is true. Any double red he can't do anything with.
I think P and Kieran's the only thing in his deck that's double red, but it does kind of restrict him on what he can cast per turn.
Yeah, he can only cast 1 red spell per turn, so it does set him behind a little bit. But looks like we'll get rid of that Gideon here.
Foundry of the Councils.
So looks like we got, well, I guess we got aggregate blockers for days now.
All right.
Wow.
Looks like another Gideon.
It'll be very sad to see this game end with the Siege Rhino. This is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, it's literally, if Randy can't close it out by just attacking through all of his stuff, it's going to be by him just drawing a Siege Rhino. And
at this point, he can't safely swing with the Shambling Vents.
Yeah. His aggregates are holding up the defense pretty well.
Right.
Yeah, aggregates right now being 5/5s, which is insane. But Stuart still can't come back on the offensive until he gets a little bit more of a board state. Cause
with the founder of the console's on play, he's going to be able to turn that into Thopters here soon, and that does make more blockers.
that is true.
And that might let the aggregates get in for a little more damage.
That is true. Aggregates could be a turning point in this game, depending on whether or not Randy draws a Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
It's a crazy game.
This is not what I expected, the 42 life Abzan aggro player versus the 1 life mono red Eldrazi player. I didn't expect this game to be where it's at.
I didn't either. I expected it to be over.
But again, let's go back a couple turns. If he would have just not been so aggressive with his Shambling Vents, do you think the Warden would have been the best play to...
Oh, yeah.
he would have put the 5 counters on it. It would have been out of roast range. I think this game would have been ended a few turns ago.
I mean, there's no arguing with that.
I think Randy's kind of kicking himself in the butt right now because being able to
see him, he knows he can't get that 1 damage in.
Is that a Tomb of the Spirit Dragon?
Oh, that could potentially be really bad.
Is this a comeback? Let's hope so.
Can you double check life totals? 1 to 39.
A little change in the life totals there.
Yeah, he just looks like he just activated his Spirit Dragon to gain 5. Now Parnes is up to 6. He swung in with 2 Thopters, putting him to 37.
The Siege Rhino draw no longer does it.
Yeah, and Siege Rhino can't trample over these 5/5s here.
Aggregates
5 life a turn. Props to Parnes.
Looks like a Silk Wrap.
All right, well, that'll take care of one of the aggregates, which...
Still a 4/5.
Yeah.
At least now, him and Siege Rhino just kind of bounce off each other.
But still, each turn, Parnes is going to be... Looks like Parnes is the life gain deck now.
Yeah, looks like Parnes definitely... He turned this game around pretty well.
Do we see what's in Carroll's hand for the turn?
I do know he does have a Gideon in hand.
Would you even play a Gideon onto this board?
I mean, you could just alt Gideon, just like he did, just to get your Shambling Vents to be a little bit bigger, maybe hold back.
Yeah, I mean, now you have, a 3/4 your Shambling Vent. Your other Shambling Vent is also a 4/5 now.
Yeah.
So now he can just activate and just start swinging into it. So now he just bounces off the aggregate but still gains the 4 life. So
right.
So it looks like he's going to go up to 41. I can't disagree with that play.
No, that seemed pretty solid.
Yeah.
Gain the life before he's able to actually put more colorless creatures on the field to make him bigger.
He's tapping out here. 7/6. Is this a
Chandra? It is
a Chandra.
Is he paying 1 for that Chandra?
Looks like he does have to take a pain for the Chandra.
Yeah, he's...
We'll go down to 5.
Looks like he's crashing in for 6.
It's going to come down. We're going to have Carroll down to 35. Stuart Parnes still only at 5. But
now, would it be better to 0 Chandra here just to get those extra cards? Or do you just crash into 6 on that huge life total?
If Parnes doesn't have any cards in hand, it's realistically only getting him 1 card. So crashing in for 6 without a board on Carroll's side, I think, is a better option. And it just keeps Parnes more on the aggression.
Carroll seems to have animated his Shambling Vent with a 4/5 aggregate, a 3/5 aggregate, and 2 Thopters. I'm not sure how much I like that.
Yeah, that's a...
unless Carroll has something in his hand that could potentially kind of blow it out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Do we got a Dramoka's command?
Please be.
Do we have a Dramoka's command? Well, he tapped green and white. If we have a Dramoka's command here, that's a pretty good play for...
It
looks like it is.
That is a Dramoka's command. He's thinking about it now.
He's going to have him fight.
See, I could potentially... I could see it fighting a Thopter. I don't see the value in actually fighting the aggregate. Since you're putting a +1/+1 counter to RR, you're going to kill it.
Right.
So I think getting a Thopter off the board is a lot better than actually...
Also, taking the Thopter out would give it 1 damage counter, but your aggregate's also losing that damage.
Right, so now it's only a 2/5 aggregate instead of a 3.
Right, right.
It would be a 4/5 aggregate. There's a Hedron color in those lands.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right,
yeah.
But I thought it was a 4/5.
I mean, maybe even taking out the Crawler. Take out... I don't think at this point he cares about lands, but...
Right. I personally would take out a Thopter.
Yeah.
Takes a flyer out of play.
So, he plays a Morph. Could that be a...
Ire Shaman?
Ugh.
I don't know how... Ugh.
Well, he doesn't have red up, so it's definitely not a... Obliterator. Or, what is it? Eldrazi, Aggressor, or the one that allows you actually to steal your opponent's creature. Obligator.
Right.
Which would kind of be a blowout at that point.
What morphs are in his deck?
I don't know.
I mean, Irish Shaman could get him another card.
Yeah. I mean, it's God.
I mean, we flip it for 1. It's a 3/2 menace. Can't be blocked by the 1 Shambling Vent. I don't know if that helps him here, but...
Nope, I don't think it helps much here.
What did he do with the Chandra? Did he draw a card?
Yeah, it looks like he actually drew.
Okay.
Looks like he drew for turn and then zeroed and then redrew so that he can get 2 cards back in hand. So we got...
Another activation.
See another activation of the vent here. Just gonna get a chump block from the Thopter.
I don't think he wants to get back in Siege Rhino range.
Yeah.
Warden.
There's a Warden.
He needs to deal with that Warden quick.
Right.
Yeah, because
once that starts getting counters, it's going to be hard to deal with. It's going to be an 8/8, then a 13/13, and after that, it's...
Did he draw a good card this turn? Oh,
he has
man.
another roast for the Warden.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
I bet Carroll's also not too excited about that. But I guess if he has the roast in hand with the Chandra on the board, I guess Warden's not going to live through it regardless.
Right, right.
Because of the minus ability on the Chandra. But then it also does kill his board too. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept, but
Parnes has a Reality Smasher in hand.
With his Morph out, I don't think he can minus Chandra. I think it would hurt him more than wiping his own board. Shambling Vents isn't going to be touched. He's going to still crash in with those Shambling Vents.
Right.
With the emblem out there.
Yeah, that is
making
true.
Them 4/5s. I don't think he can minus.
Shambling Vent's a 5/6. 2 counters plus getting emblem.
2 counters. So he has a 3/4 and a 5/6. Shambling Vents.
Yes.
Parnes will take a pain to cast that Thopter Engineer.
Oh, so Parnes goes down to 4?
I'm not sure how much I like casting the Thopter Engineer. Just puts you that much closer to Siege Rhino range.
Yeah, it's getting close. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Siege Rhino at all this game, honestly.
Do you think he boarded any out? I can't see that.
I can't see any getting boarded out in any situation.
Yeah, no, I don't... It's really weird how we haven't seen any.
Well, I mean, I don't think the only card that Parnes has to deal with this Siege Rhino would be Roast.
Right.
So I can't imagine taking those out.
No, I definitely think the card's very good. I think it's weird that we haven't seen any yet.
So we got to attack with 2 vents coming in.
So that'll be a
5/6 and a 3/4.
So we're gaining 8 life here, but that'll put Carroll up to 51. Now Chandra's not doing damage. He's actually double blocking here.
Is that a morph? Or is that just a Thopter token?
No, that is a morph. He did play it in tap 3 to play it down, so it looks like
he's questioning his own blocks now. Cause
it was an Ash Cloud
Phoenix, yeah.
So it looks like we'll gain 5, 8 more life.
I think that was a mistake on him because I saw him point to the emblem. I think Parnes thought he was gonna kill the Shambling Vents as a 2/3.
Yeah,
but it's actually a 3/4. So the Shambling Vents took out both of his creatures.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that was a swing in Carroll's favor right there.
Yeah, I think Parnes made a mistake that he's very well aware of now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 3 Shambling Vents on the board, it looks like he can definitely start chipping away Parnes' life totals now. Looks like
How do you
we
feel
got
about Ash Cloud
5
Phoenix in the deck?
So here's a Reality Smasher.
Chandra's good up to 7.
We take 6.
Chandra can be as high as she wants. She's not touching those Shambling Vents ever.
It looks like Carroll's going to take 6.
Can you blame him?
I mean, sure. Just take all the damage from Chandra.
Gaining 8 a turn, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's still +2.
Oh,
Valor
and a Valor stance, but he doesn't have a card to discard, so he can't actually target the Reality Smasher.
Right.
But he can actually swing in with a Vent and kind of give it just indestructible or something like that to save.
Right. Looks like he's probably gonna block the 5/6. Well, he can't block the 5/6.
What do you think about keeping the Vents back this turn? And if the Reality Smasher attacks, using the Valor stance to keep one of your Vents alive? To kill it.
Me? Yes.
It's probably not very good. He probably just wants to keep the aggression on.
Yeah, so the Thopter Engineer is definitely going to die. He should Valor stance a Shambling Vent here, but it's not going to actually save him. Not having a card to actually discard to the Reality Smasher ability.
I think holding back the Shambling Vents would have been a little bit better. Waiting for you to draw a card, regardless what that card is, just discard it, get rid of that Reality Smasher.
And then just killing the Reality Smasher.
Even if it is a Siege Rhino, it's getting rid of the Reality Smasher is kind of a big deal.
Right. Any reason why you think he hasn't cracked that Wooded Foothills yet?
Life. He doesn't want to lose a life.
Yeah, he's a dangerous life total.
I do not know why he has not cracked that Wooded Foothills yet.
It seems like you'd want to do that now to stop drawing lands.
Yeah.
Also to make it for there's still fetchable targets in your deck.
Well, now he got rid of one of the Shambling Vents. Does he have a second? He has a third Shambling Vents, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a second one that he tapped for a Black Source.
So, but that's his Black Source, so he can't activate both of them.
Right. So now he's down to 1 again.
So he's taking 6 damage, gaining 1.
Ooh, and a really good draw there. So he's definitely going to have to Valor stance the Thought-Knots here.
In response, yeah.
And with the trigger still on the stack. That way it'll keep that off the board.
Yeah, and then you just discard whatever you draw.
Right.
That's fine.
So if it's a land, it could potentially be actually in your favor. You're going to take some damage from Reality Smasher, but I don't think Randy Carroll's actually worried about damage at all at this point in the game. I think he's just trying to find a way to close it out.
Would you fetch before you Valor stance the Thought-Knots here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You think fetch before?
Yeah, that way if you draw, because we're getting really late in the game. I don't know if he has any fetchable targets left in that deck for that Wooded Foothills.
Looks like a Warden, so that's actually a really good Thought-Knots here right there, because Warden can just shut the game out really quickly at this point.
The fact he hasn't fetched yet is really weird.
Yeah, we'll see if he does it at the end of this turn.
I mean, he has no cards in hand. He's not representing anything.
Looks like he's gonna come smashing in for 6 again with some 3/1 hasters.
There's the fetch.
All right, we're gonna fetch that Wooded Foothills and thin a little bit.
Do you think he has a Smoldering Marsh to get in his deck?
He should have a Canopy Vista, I'd say, at least, and possibly another Smoldering Marsh.
There it is, yeah. So now he can start activating both vents again.
All right, let's see what we get a draw for turn.
What does he want to draw here?
At this point, there's not much he can actually.
Looks like we missed an activation with his land, so Parnes is actually at 9, and Carroll's at 48.
Might have missed some life on one of the shambling vents.
It looks like he's going to activate the vent again. Looks like Parnes is just going to take 5 and go to 4.
He's going to activate his tomb
again. His tomb. He'll gain 2 life from that.
Well, that's, I believe, the token. Or is this on the end step? Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll go up to 6.
So what does Carroll want to draw to close out this game?
Honestly, I think he just wants to draw a Siege Rhino. He needs more creatures.
He has a Reality Smasher on board to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Does he want Abzan Charm?
He does it until he gets a discard outlet to discard 2 killing the Reality Smasher. I think just swinging in with a 1 Shambling Vent's fine.
I don't mean to exile the Reality Smasher. I mean to draw 2 cards.
Yeah, that could actually potentially be really good. And looks like we got another hanger back on 2.
I guess we were wrong. They don't end.
They don't.
No.
So what would a pack of walkers be called then if a pack of rhinos is a crash?
A disaster.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Ooh, was that a Dramoka's command for the draw?
I can't. It might have been a flooded strand.
If he drew a land, he needs to hold that so he has the discard outlet.
Yeah.
Looks like Parnes is out of cards in his hand, but
plenty of cards in play.
Still has.
There's a Silk Wrap.
Actually a Silk Wrap, which is actually really good.
Yeah.
So it looks like he can actually double activate vents. So if he double activates, it looks like he may just. Oh, okay. So he's going to come into 1. So now Stuart definitely has to block here because if he has any type of pump spell, a Dramoka's command or an Abzan Charm, he just wins the game.
Right.
So it looks like there was no blocks on that.
Looks like he just takes the 4, goes to 2, and I think he just gains the life for
4.
4, that'd be 5.
5.
Oh yeah, so he would go to 1 and then go to 3.
Drawing 2 lands off of that Chandra. Ugh, that's not good.
That's definitely not good at all. This game's actually looking a lot better in Carroll's favor.
I think he did draw a flooded strand.
I don't think he took that 5 damage. I think he blocked with his
Reality Smasher.
Well, no,
Smasher
would die. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 5/6.
Yep.
Huh.
Oh.
How does he deal with this?
It looks like he just drew a Wingmate Rock, so I think this game is definitely.
He's gonna gain some life.
It is definitely nearing the end.
Yeah.
He's gonna gain some more life.
So he's actually gonna crack a Foundry of the Councils.
Okay.
From what it looks like, and he's going to make 2 Thopters. So having the Foundry and then being able to still hold up mana and
gain life.
So he's going to gain 3 from there.
Right.
Go to 6.
Yeah. And I guess the worst part about it is if Carroll should be casting the Wingmate Rock here because that basically locks the game up.
No,
he can't minus the Chandra because his Shambling Vents are still in play. So if he minuses Chandra, he just dies to the Shambling Vents.
Right.
He's going to double block and get rid of the Shambling Vents.
Which is fine. With the Wingmate Rocks in hand, it's great because he still has just 1. He still has a vent that he can just continue to crash in, and it gets Reality Smasher off the field. So without Reality Smasher there, it's a lot better, and it puts Parnes back on like defense.
Right.
He needs to draw a creature here so he can block a Shambling Vents. He can minus Chandra, and then play a creature to block the Shambling Vents.
Yeah.
And he has a couple turns to do it because, well, yeah, he has a couple turns. Looks like 2 turns to do that.
Is he thinking about whether or not to play the Wingmate Rock?
It's all in increments of 5. So 48 to 53 to 55.
Looks like there's a discrepancy with the life totals.
I could understand there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
53 to 58. Okay. 58 to 60. Everything's been in hand. Yes.
Go get life total.
I'll go get that. Sure. 1 card in hand?
We'll make sure we have life totals correct.
26? Yes. Well, 8. She's what? 8.
I heard a confusion whether Chandra was at 26 or 8.
I think she's at 8.
Chandra at 26 is a problem.
Yeah, that could definitely be.
That does handle Wingmate Rock.
That is true.
A couple times.
But a few times over.
I guess even casting the Wingmate Rock right now still may not even be good, because he can still actually just minus Chandra, and he has another Foundry of the Councils to actually activate. So he can still put 2 creatures back up, but it still doesn't...
And there's the Wingmate Rock.
Yeah. So Parnes is definitely...
Looks like life totals are 63 for Carroll and 8 for Parnes.
Which is absurd. I feel like we're watching a Nor and the Weary kind of match right here with just life totals getting way out of hand.
Nor and the Weary, I haven't seen that in a while.
I'm amazed that Parnes is still in this game.
I am too. It's definitely been a very long game.
Yeah.
But I do give Parnes some credit for sticking out this long.
Hey, it looks like he is going to minus there. Get rid of those birds.
Yep.
Not attacking first. It's kind of strange.
I mean, there's really no point. He's probably just going to block.
It saves some counters on his Chandra.
That's true. If he would have swung and double blocked, he could have just negged 3 instead of 4.
No, he'd still have to neg 4. He had to neg 5 that turn.
Or yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like he gained some life from that before he actually blew up the Thopters.
Right.
So he'll go up to 10 after that, and it does look like he actually has Foundry of the Council's mana still available. But we'll definitely get Chandra off the field to keep any more shenanigans going off.
Carroll at a healthy 66 life.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think there's any way that Parnes can actually come back in this match. He can make 2 Thopters, but they're just slowly going to die.
Is there even enough damage in his deck to kill Carroll?
At this point, no.
And it looks like if he would have swung with those Thopters, and if provided Carroll blocks, he would have negged 4. Chandra would have been at 4.
Chandra would have lived.
Shambling Vents would have took her to 1.
Right.
So yeah, she would have.
Yeah, it looks like Thought Knot Seer hits the board, and...
Did it take a Ruinous Path?
Yes, it did dig a Ruinous Path, and it looks like Thought Knot Seer actually came in as a 5/5.
Ruinous Path would have been really good right now.
It would have. There's the good old Siege Rhino.
He's a little late.
He's really late.
It was a 5/5, and then you have a 5/5.
5/5.
Do you still cast it?
Oh yeah, no. You still cast it. You can. He can't swing with the Thought Knot Seer.
Right.
This is game 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this match ends at game 2.
Yep. Looks like we're gonna have a Siege Rhino here. Take Parnes down to 7.
Carroll sitting at a casual 69 life.
Yeah.
Another Reality Smasher joins the board.
Yeah. That's
6/6.
That's pretty good. And he's going to go ahead and gain 2 life and go to 9.
Gotta give credit to Parnes here.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a comeback.
This might be
Siege Rhino can't swing. Shambling Vents can't swing.
Nope, looks like
this is one of the most stalled boards I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For this time of match, yeah.
Does Parnes swing?
I don't think so.
I don't think you can.
I don't think he can actually swing. There's too many threats that Carroll still has, and it looks like he actually has an Abzan Charm in hand.
Right.
So
because Siege Rhino's he's a 5/6. So
yeah, he's a 5/6. So Reality Smasher still kills it. Thought Knot Seer, he can block Thought Knot Seer.
Right.
So I think he just stays where he's at right now. He has an Abzan Charm in hand, so he just needs to draw a card.
Right. I feel like Parnes can attack, because if he attacks that Thought-Knot Seer and it gets eaten by the Rhino,
Right, that's...
he gives him the card to discard Reality Smasher if he has a removal spell.
Right.
Yeah. So
Do you use Abzan Charm here to draw 2 cards?
I don't think so, because he's going to drop return, and regardless of what that is, he's going to get rid of the Thought-Knot Seer, I think.
Right.
All right. Looks like he's actually activating a Shambling Event. So
Wow.
with the Abzan Charm here, I guess it's actually not bad because he can put counters on whatever's blocking.
Right.
Right.
So
he's probably going to put the counters on the Rhino and go on through that Reality Smasher.
yeah, I can see it depending on where he blocks. So he's going to block there. So
Reality Smasher's blocking the...
Fence. It's a little weird.
Respecting the Abzan Charm, though.
Right. Knowing what you know now, do you use it to draw 2 cards? Or do you still use it to remove the Thought-Knot Seer?
I think you can still remove it. I think you just allow him to have the Thought-Knot Seer, and then end of turn you could possibly do it. Or you wait for a combat trick, because you can still exile and take it out of combat, and Siege Rhino will still come in and actually deal damage.
I don't know if Parnes is playing it, but I know another variation of the deck that was at this tournament. It does play Spatial Contortion, and that does make that Thought-Knot Seer trade with like a Rhino.
It does. It definitely makes a lot different of a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Parnes definitely blocking really well there. Just eating his last Shambling Vent.
I think he's going to move to try to attack here.
He's thinking about it.
I mean, if he attacks, I think he's dead, right?
Another aggregate. But that's fine. It can still hold up to block, but still with the Absent Charm. I mean, Parnes is only at 5, so.
Is he going to gain a little bit more life here?
I don't know if he actually gains life here, because that shuts off.
He's going in the red zone.
No blocks.
No blocks.
And no Abzan Charm before damage on the Thought-Knot Seer.
I think he's saving it to...
Which is fine, because he... So potentially right now, he has the win in his hand.
Right. Abzan Charming the Vile aggregate. Parnes gains 3 in response.
So it looks like...
he drew a... Is that a Sylvan Advocate?
That's really good. That's a 5/6 Sylvan Advocate.
Yeah.
Parnes is now at 3?
Parnes is now at 3 and can gain 2, but he can also...
Oh, man.
He can activate Foundry of the Council, so it'll give him 2 Thopters and then gain life. So he can gain 4 life right now, and then continue to actually keep sacrificing the Foundrils to get Thopters. So
Carroll drawing another threat in Anafenza.
Which is also really good.
Right.
Just ways to put counters, kind of a nombo with Sylvan Advocate, but can make Seed Rhino definitely a lot bigger to smash through.
A couple more guys. Counter on him.
Looks like Parnes gains 4 on end step.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Going up to 7.
He popped the Foundry that turn, so I don't think he actually gained any life that turn. He may have.
It looks like he did, but I don't know. Tomb costs 2 to activate, right?
Yeah. 2 and tapping itself.
So it's effectively 3. And Foundry effectively is 6, 5 plus tapping it?
Yes.
Hi, Robbie.
He had 10 mana last turn. It looks like he did activate it. 58 to 8.
So he did.
These life totals are very hard to keep track of.
Looks like Parnes did gain the life, making it 58 to 8.
So we got some attacks here, and Offense is going to put a counter on a Seed Rhino, making it a 6/7. Looks like he's going to activate Foundry of the Councils again and make 2 more Thopters.
Right. And he does have the mana open to gain life from Tomb too, so this would gain him 6 before if he did it before blocks, before damage, I should say.
Yes.
Putting him at 14 with that trample damage.
Yeah. Sylvan Advocate being a 5/6 and Anafenza being a 5/5. So Randy's board's really well positioned right now, even for as many Thopters.
He's got to get that Anafenza off the board before that becomes a problem. Looks like he's trying to do that now.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Reality Smasher will definitely kill the Anafenza.
Do we know what the card in his hand is? In Carroll's hand?
It's an Absent Charm, right?
Yeah, he still has the Absent.
He still has abs. Yes, no, you got it.
Well, I see an Absent Charm in the graveyard.
I don't.
Oh, he Absent on the aggregate. So
Right,
we are not sure what card he actually has in hand. So Siege Rhino will do some trample damage there. So being a 6/7, he'll do 5 damage from that play a Warden. And it looks like he actually has enough mana. So we're definitely going to see this game get closed out really quickly now.
Right.
With a Warden, it's just going to get out of hand really fast. And being able to trample over right away is what Carroll wanted to do way earlier in the game.
Right. Warden's a 2/2 now. He's going to activate it twice, making it a 4/4 trample lifelink. On his turn before damage, he's going to put, what, 5 counters on it? He can't do it twice, can he? No. He's going to put 5 counters on it, making it a 9/9
with trample. So it definitely makes it a huge threat at this point.
Right.
I can see Parnes just scrabbling to gain life here.
That's not going to work.
Going to put a counter on there. So it looks like he can gain 2, 4, 6 life still. But it's not going to last very long.
No. You can't take many hits from a 9/9 with lifelink and trample.
That you can continue to make bigger every turn.
It's a 9/9 and then it's a what, a 14/14?
Yeah, I mean there are still a lot of cards that can actually end the game this turn besides the land.
That swamp was not one of them.
No.
So what level the Warden?
It's at 2.
The Warden, yeah, so it has lifelink and trample as of right now.
So yeah, right now it's a 4/4 lifelink with trample.
Does he have enough mana to level up twice now that the swamp's here?
He can level it up once. Just I think he's still a mana shy. Yeah, he's got his mana separate. He actually is 10 mana. He would need 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just starts crashing in. At this point, he just crashes in. Parnes is definitely cardless in his hand, so he can only gain 6 life, but Warden's
He
going
is
to...
holding back the Warden?
Did he just attack with the Rhino? I don't think he attacked with the Advocate either.
That's interesting.
6/7 currently.
What?
Mark here before damage after 2.
For damage, he's going to gain, looks like 6.
Yeah.
So it looks like Siege Rhino is actually going to die in this exchange. But so is Thoughtnuts here, so Carroll's going to get a draw card.
Right. He did in fact gain 6 from the tomb.
And Carroll's at 58.
Aren't you like organized or something?
So it looks like Thoughtnuts here is finally off the board.
And he gets to draw a card off of that Thoughtnuts here.
And Carroll gets to draw a card from Thoughtnuts here. I don't think he actually... Did he draw a card? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So...
And he didn't put the counters... So he hasn't put counters on him yet.
Maybe he was scared of him getting double blocked with Smasher and Thoughtnuts here.
Yeah.
To kill it. Because one of them still lives.
Yeah. In the scenario where your Warden is double blocked by a Reality Smasher and a Thoughtnuts here, which one would you kill as of right now?
Oh, Reality Smasher for sure.
Are you wouldn't kill the Thoughtnuts here to get the card? What?
I would kill the Reality Smasher because you need 2 cards to get rid of that.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, if he draws an Absent Charm, he can just get rid of that. Thoughtnuts here, but Smasher's a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Gonna go ahead and put the counters on.
So here we go with the levels on the Warden.
He's a 10. What is he? A 14/14 there?
Yep.
He is a 14/14 with lifelink and trample. So
I think this
these
is pretty out of hand.
These life totals are definitely going to get way out of hand here really fast. I don't think Parnes actually has a way to get rid of that. I think Warden at this point.
I think his only kill spell really
is Roast.
Roast, right?
Yeah.
Does he still have Eldrazi Obligator in his deck?
I am not positive. But he's going to gain some life here, some more. So
Gains what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 life.
Why does that even matter?
Actually puts him up to a healthy 20.
Is it
gonna
healthy with that Warden there?
Jesus.
It's not. This game is
Carroll looks like he's going to gain 14.
and without blocking, he's going to take
66 to 6.
Ah. And he's back down.
Yeah, he took.
I just felt like
Carroll's at
Oh,
66.
Looks like Carroll got it.
Parnes going to scoop this game, and Carroll's going to go ahead and have our win to move on to the semifinals.
I think that would have been much quicker if you would have played that Warden a lot earlier in that game.
Yeah.
About a half hour.